focus on the first and second chakras, where we'll be looking at the root chakra and the second chakra. So looking at more grounding, but also moving more towards that watery flow. And we'll be operating mostly with a lot of floor stretches to begin with, to get our root chakra situated. But then we'll do some vinyasa, some flow sequencing to get our creativity going as well. So let's get started into a comfortably cross-legged seat. So allowing your eyes to close if that feels comfortable. Begin to notice your breath here. Your slow inhales in and out through your nose. Maybe you notice the different sounds in the background, or even the sound in your own home where you're practicing today. So allowing yourself to take it all in. Begin noticing your physical body more. Draw more awareness to the very baseline of your spine, the space where our first chakra is held, just directly within the first 3 vertebrae. Root down more in towards the floor, and maybe sit a little bit taller in towards your spine. We'll begin to generate some movement. Option to keep your eyes closed while you're here. You start to make some circles in towards your hips. Now even getting in towards the second chakra directly below the belly button. So moving in such a way where we're stimulating more of that watery feel with this gentle circle motion that we're taking. Reverse your circles opposite direction. And slow everything down, come back towards the center line. We'll go into a straddle pose, continuing to move in towards not only our hips, but also continuing to root down into the first and second chakra. So while you're here, point and flex your toes a couple times, maybe wiggle your toes and shake out your ankles. You might need to lift yourself up and then plop yourself back down just to re-root your hips down towards the mat. You can continue to stay upright, or maybe you want to start to walk your hands forward. Great place to grab a block. You can place it underneath your belly button, or even place the block directly underneath your hips to support grounding further into the mat. So wherever you're at, just allowing yourself to stay here for a couple breaths. If you're staying upright, maybe you bring your hands towards your heart center, or you can even drop your hands down. But continuing to breathe into this space, noticing the connection of your physical body to the mat or to the ground itself. We'll be here for one more full round of breath. And slowly release, we'll head towards a butterfly pose. So still figuratively and physically rooting ourselves, grounding. Take your feet together, knees wide. Then you can stay upright, or maybe you want to start to fold your upper body down. And while we're here, before we move and stand up, take a couple poses, imagine yourself connecting to the mat by visualizing roots start to form into the mat below. So this will also serve us, especially in standing postures, when we come into a balancing posture, for instance, that we feel more grounded, more stable in our physical body. The same can be said for this emotional resilience that we're creating by just connecting down towards the ground, feeling supported by the earth below us. Take one more full breath. Sit upright if you were folded down. Take the knees together, give yourself a big hug. Draw your knees toward your chest. And then we'll slowly move towards a tabletop position, facing towards the front of your mat. So with this cat-cow motion, a lot of this does get into a lot of the other chakras, but will stimulate really a lot into the second chakra with the waves of the body that we create just by looking up for cow pose and exhale, look down for cat. So you can feel that stimulation into the first and second chakra for sure, like creating waves into the spine. Take a couple more breaths here. And we'll press back to find child's pose, another rooted posture that allows us to physically ground into the mat. Take some brief inhales in and exhales out. Relaxing your body. Knowing that you can come back to this posture anytime throughout this class today. Well, stay down and connected down towards the mats. Let's move towards a Sphinx pose. So a gentle back bend to start us off before we move through some sun salutations. So forearms are grounded down, chest is lifted forward. So even though this pose does again get into more of the heart chakra, think more about what's connected to the mat below in the first and second chakra. So you might even need to lift those hips up and then retuck the tailbone to start to feel the connection of more of the second chakra directly below your belly button towards the earth. While you're here, you can steady your gaze towards the top of the mat, or maybe gaze down, chin down towards your chest. And great place to move your head side to side. Start to move deeper into your neck muscles. Wherever you're at, come back with your gaze forward. You can stay exactly as you are. Maybe you want to press up towards a cobra pose. Inhale, lift your chest up a bit higher, palms down into the earth. Press back towards a tabletop position. We'll start to move to our first downward facing dog. Hips rise up, that capital letter upside down V position. Great place to bend one knee at a time, just to generate more fluidity into the body. And even here, root down into the mat. So notice what's physically connected to the mat below. So hopefully that's your palms and your feet. Maybe it could be something else. I don't know. It could be your knees if you wanted to drop into tabletop. Gaze forward, step all the way up towards the top of the mat, standing forward fold. We'll take a ragdoll pose here, hands around opposite elbows. Allow your head to release and relax. Continue to visualize roots coming out of your feet to ground down into the mat below. Your next breath, release the hands down. Walk those feet out a bit we're moving towards a yoga squat. So drop the glutes down towards the mat, knees are wide. And I'm going to use a block for this. You can use a block or a pillow just to place underneath the tailbone. So even here, this is one of those poses that really gets into the first chakra, where our tailbone is facing towards the ground. So we think of it energetically moving down towards the mat, even though we're in a more uplifted posture. Really open up the collarbone here, shoulders down your back, maybe hands towards heart center. Take one more full breath here. Recruit that Mula Bandha, meaning your lowest core, to lift all the way up towards a standing position. And maybe you want to move the block, place it off towards the side, walk your feet back in together to touch. We're standing towards the top of our mat. Inhale, reach your arms up, interlace the hands, release the index fingers long. We'll take a side body stretch, lean over towards the right side of the mat. And come back towards the center. Exhale towards the left. Come back through towards the center. And forward fold, release the hands down. Halfway lift, inhale, step your left leg back. So I'll move through a modified version of a sun salutation first, just to generate some heat and some flow, thinking more of that creativity with the second chakra. Drop your left knee down, inhale, reach your arms up. We'll take a three-legged dog from here. So that right leg is going to go high and back. Drop your hands, lift the right leg all the way up and through. Bend your knee, open your hip. Again, let's get some fluidity into this, more of that watery element to take some circles in towards that right knee. Knowing that you can also do this in a tabletop position instead. We'll meet regular downward facing dog, right leg meets the left. Shift forward to find your plank pose. Side plank, right arm down, left arm high. Great place to drop the right knee as well to kickstand your foot. Last breath to lift. And plank pose. Let's meet back towards the center. You can add on a vinyasa, that's the chaturanga, up dog, down dog. We'll eventually meet towards a child's pose. So if you're taking chaturanga, lower down, low push up. Inhale for upward facing dog to lift the quads. And child's pose, press back. Give yourself a second to root back down into the mat. So earth and water are really our friends today and what we're working into. When you're ready, downward facing dog is where we meet. Creatively moving through this vinyasa, step that right leg up again. So it's the same leg that we just did. Drop the knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. And standing forward fold is where we meet. Drop the hands, left leg meets the right. Halfway lift, inhale, hands towards the shins or maybe the quads. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, rise, arms up. And we'll meet hands towards heart center. Again, zip the legs together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, release. We'll switch legs now. Step that right leg back. Drop the knee. Inhale, reach your arms up. Again, creatively moving through this sequence today. Drop your hands back down. Three-legged down dog. Kick your left leg high and back. Bend your knee, open your hip. And knowing that you can always drop that right knee down instead. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Shift forward, high plank. Side plank, left arm down, right arm up. Maybe you want to drop that left knee down towards the ground. An optional chaturanga. This time we'll meet towards downward facing dog. And if you're taking cobra or upward facing dog, continue to lift your chest. And downward facing dog is where we meet. Gaze forward, step the left leg back forward. Drop the knee, inhale, reach up. Exhale, drop your hands down, step up, forward fold. All right, we're gonna do that again, one more time each side. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms high. And exhale, come back down. Halfway lift, inhale, step the left leg back, drop the back knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, three-legged down dog. Right leg kicks high and back, bend the knee, open the hip. One breath, one movement, shift forward, plank pose. Side plank, right arm down, left arm high. Chaturanga, lower down. Up dog, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Right leg, step it forward. Drop the back knee, inhale, reach your arms up. Step up, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. We got this one more time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, stand tall. Exhale, come back down. Halfway lift, inhale. Right leg steps back. Drop the knee. Inhale, reach up. Three-legged down dog split. Left leg kicks high and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. We'll meet again towards plank pose. Take your time to get there. Left arm down, right arm high, side plank. Optional chaturanga. We meet downward facing. Left leg, step it forward. Drop the knee, inhale, reach up. Step up, forward fold. We'll hang out here and meet back towards our yoga squat. So with or without a block, either hands towards heart center. If you'd like to add on here while we're hanging out in this squat position, drop the left arm down towards the inner thigh line, then reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. And gaze can come towards that top hand as the option. Switch sides when you're ready. We'll meet back hands towards heart center. Recruit the Mula Bandha by lifting up again from this squat position. Stand tall, reach up, arms high. Keep the legs wide, hands towards the hips. We'll take a standing back bend. So press the hips forward, lift your chest. Again, we're really pushing forward with the second chakra, kind of leading the way. Exhale, forward fold, release the hands down. Keep your feet as they are. Maybe keep your blocks close by. That right foot is going to stay exactly where it is. Step the left leg back, lizard lunge. So hands are now on the inside. Drop the back knee down. So we notice the energy again being in the first and second chakra, really getting deep into our hips. Maybe you want to stay here with both hands down towards the ground. Option to place your forearms down to blocks or books. You can also take a twist to drop the left hand down. Right hand's the grabber for your back foot. Great place for a strap here to kind of lasso that back foot. We're here for about 2 more full breaths in whatever option that you've taken. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Press back. And we'll step the other leg forward. Left leg forward, drop the back knee. So lizard lunge now on your other leg. Same options still apply if you wanted to drop the forearms down. But keep in mind that your hands are on the inside of that left foot. We're continuing to open up more towards the first and second chakra. So it should feel like you're kind of dumping into the hip flexors. Maybe you want to grab for that back leg. Wherever you are at, we'll all meet towards a downward facing dog position. Shift back forward, plank pose. Lower all the way down onto the belly. We'll meet back towards Sphinx position, forearms down towards the mat. Maybe you'd like to take another back bend while you're here. Suggest locust pose since we're still focusing on the first and second chakra. Arms up, legs up. And slowly release. We'll rise up towards a tabletop position. Cross the legs, swing your legs through. We'll take grounded tree pose. So a lot of the postures that we'll close with today are back towards grounding postures. We did a very brief flow to move into more of that creative element, more of that watery energy. And now we're all the way back down towards the earth. So right foot towards your inner thigh line, left leg is long. You can continue to sit up, or maybe you want to start to fold over that left leg. You can use a strap to place the ball, place it around the ball of the foot and pull towards you. We'll be here for just a couple breaths. Really starting to move into longer holds as we start to close this class. Switch out the legs. Right leg now goes long. Left foot towards your inner thigh line. Same options still apply if you wanted to use a strap here. Go ahead and lift back up. Take both legs long. Maybe you want a slight bend at the knees to fold over, or you can keep the legs straight. Either strap around the feet or just allow your upper body to fold over and long. Take one more full breath. Lift back up. Crisscross at the legs. Press back towards a downward facing dog. If you'd like, you can stay here or take another chaturanga, up dog, back towards down dog. We're making our way towards pigeon pose now, still really hitting on those first and second chakras. Take the right leg forward. Left leg can be long as the option, or maybe you want to bend that back leg as well for 90-90 stretch. You can keep your chest upright or start to fold over towards the mat. So traditionally, hip openers move more into the first and second chakras. As they're close to where the first and second chakras are located. So moving into the same muscles that surround those first couple chakras. Last full breath here. Step back and switch sides. Again, you can press back towards a downward facing dog and then switch, or maybe you want to add another vinyasa for your chaturanga, up dog, back towards down dog. Then left leg moves forward to find pigeon on the other side. Continuing to breathe into these postures, especially during longer holds. Last full breath here. We'll meet with just by swinging the legs around and lowering all the way down on towards our back body. Once you're there, we'll move into an inversion just by taking either a block or keeping your glutes down. And lift the legs up towards the ceiling. So I'll move into a gentle inversion today of waterfall. If you'd like to, you can also move into what's called sleeping tiger to lift your arms up towards the ceiling as well. So we continue to root down into the mat below for these next few breaths. Allowing everything to relax, just feeling the energy flow like water through your body, but also feeling the connection and towards the ground itself. Slowly release out of this inversion, remove any blocks that you have. Give yourself a big hug, knees toward your chest. We'll end with a final twist just to help decompress the spine and ease into our Shavasana. Drop your knees off towards one direction for your twist. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or gaze away from your bent knees. Shoulders still connected towards the earth. The entire spine is really connected towards the floor. Switch sides. Take your knees all the way back in toward your chest. Give yourself another big squeeze. Round your nose up to meet your knees. Then we'll meet into final resting pose, Shavasana. Maybe you want to come into reclined butterfly with feet together, knees wide for this final resting position, or lay completely down on the earth. Just continuing to visualize your connection to your mat. The body moves and flows with energy from head to toe. Even in stillness, our body is continuing to work into this flow of energy throughout. So maybe you notice by observation or curiosity to connect to your prana, the energy in your entire body. Wonderful place to take some sighs out through your mouth while you're here. Let's take a big breath in and then sigh it out through your mouth. Allowing yourself to find some movement into your body.